Hello, everybody. It is your favorite Yap artist. It's me, slightly biased. We're going to go over my award predictions today. I just did this on stream. It was about an hour long. I know some of you guys like a more condensed version. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Just kind of fly through these. If you want sort of my more detailed thoughts on some of these players, you can go find them over on my channel on some of these streams, some of these top 100 player lists. I'm not going to spend too much time on some of these guys, but these are my predictions entering the season for the awards. If you guys enjoy this, leave a like. It's free. It's a free thing to do, to leave a like, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. There's going to be NBA content all the time over here over the course of the next... how long does the NBA season go? We got 8 months of NBA basketball coming up. Let's go. That's incredible news. I love that for us. All right, let's get into it. NBA predictions by The is me, in case you're wondering. So my format that I usually do here, I go slightly safe, which is if I had to bet my apartment on this. I used to say if I had to bet my life. I don't like doing that. I don't like tempting with fate like that. If I had to bet my apartment, which is still tempting with fate a little bit, this is who I'd pick. My slightly insane pick. These are people who are outside the top 10 in betting odds, and my slightly biased pick, which is my actual pick. So let's get right into it. The Clutch Player of the Year award. Jalen Brunson is the favorite to win this. He did win it a season ago. I think I picked him to win it a season ago, so I got that one right. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back there. My safe pick would be Steph Curry, just because... God, so many projections and so many different places love the Warriors this year. I personally don't, but I actually can see them being in a lot of close games. And as we kind of wind down towards the end of Steph's career, can't you see the media and voters being like, yeah, let's give Steph as many awards as possible, even if they are dumbass awards like this. But I also think that he's kind of built up. He was pretty clutch for the Warriors last year. And if they're in close games, who's going to be the guy who's taking shots at the end? Steph Curry. Who's going to be the guy that'll have some of the most viral plays of the year if he hits buzzer beaters? That's Steph Curry. So I think that kind of factors in. My insane pick is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, only because top-end player, engine offensively, that's who wins these type of awards. And the fact that a guy like this who's going to score 30 points per game is outside of the top 10 in an award like this is kind of insane to me. I do get it, though, because the Thunder are going to win a ton of games this year, and they'll probably blow a bunch of teams out. So I don't know how many clutch opportunities Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is realistically going to get. But if I'm someone who's like betting on this, and if you're really betting on Clutch Player of the Year, then hey, do what you do. But you should also be calling somebody. No, I'm just joking. Not really. But I would sprinkle a little bit on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander personally, just because, again, I get a 30-point per game scorer on a guy who's on a guy whose team's gonna win a bunch of games. Like, that makes some sense to me. But Jokic would be my pick. Slingshot over the head threes with a minute left in a game 5 on the road. I was there and I witnessed it. 360 fucking no scope 3 from the top of the key to tie the game in OKC. Game 5 on the road. Insane what this guy does. Similar stuff. The engine offensively is going to score a lot of points, going to have a lot of clutch buckets on a team that's going to win a lot of games. And unlike the Thunder, will probably be in closer games. Like, they're not going to really blow a bunch of teams out, even though I do think they'll be good. So that would be my pick. What's this one? Coach of the Year. Last year, it was Kenny Atkinson. Typically, the formula here is, Mike Brown won it a few years ago with Sacramento. Who won it? Dagnall won it a couple years ago when the Thunder had their breakout season. Typically, it's a team that far exceeds expectations, right? So that's kind of what you're looking for. Jamal Mosley is the favorite to win this. Jamal Mosley's like, if they don't have a good year this year, he's probably going to get fired, but that is kind of the curse with winning Coach of the Year. You don't last much longer afterwards. My safe pick would be Ime Udoka. I do think the Rockets are going to have a good season this year, and I could definitely see this being spinned into, like, Fred VanVleet got injured before the season even started, had to miss the whole year, and the Rockets were still the 2 seed, which is what I predicted them to be in my Western Conference predictions. Or did I have them as a 3 seed? No, I had them as the 2 seed. I could see Ime Udoka, who has a good reputation across the media, is a very, very good head coach, especially if you see like significant breakouts from some of their young guys. That a lot of times that has to do with coaching as well. So I could see Ime Udoka winning this. My insane pick would be Rick Carlisle, who, has crazy odds, is well outside the top 10. I just think if the Pacers kind of fit this mold, this team that people are kind of writing off with the Tyrese Halliburton injury, the fact that they lost Miles Turner for nothing and they don't really have a front court, understandable that people are a little bit lower on the Pacers this year. Obviously understandable that people think the Pacers might miss the play-in tournament entirely and shut it down and recoup a high lottery pick potentially. I get all of that. But if they show improvement from some of their young guys, I still think this could be a pretty competitive basketball team. And in a very weak conference, if they end up being like the 7th seed or the 6th seed, I could definitely see Rick Carlisle, well-respected coach, just went to the NBA Finals, has an offensive system, is one of the best offensive minds the NBA has ever seen. I could see him getting some love. My pick was Mitch Johnson. head coach of the Spurs now. I'm just trying to follow the past formula for coach of the year, which is team that has a huge breakout or team that is way better than people expect, right? So Cleveland last year, obviously we knew the Cavs were good, but Kenny Atkinson revamped that team. They won 60 plus games in the regular season. They did way better than anyone expected. The year before that was the breakout team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who we thought could be a breakout team that year, but they were the big time breakout team. They were the 1 seed in the Western Conference. We knew that they were on the upward trend, but we didn't expect that. Could this be the Spurs this year? Could the Spurs be a team that, hey, we're all kind of expecting the Spurs to have this sort of, kind of breakthrough, maybe not a breakout, but a breakthrough and find themselves, maybe in the play-in race. Hell, maybe they even have a 6 seed locked up. But what if they're just really good? What if they're the 3 seed or the 4 seed? Could definitely see Mitch Johnson winning this award. So that's why I'm picking it, because I kind of do think we are going to get a really good San Antonio Spurs season. Most improved player, God bless, trying to predict this award. Now, the voters themselves don't even know what the fuck this award's supposed to be. And you'll understand why I'm saying that here in a second. Amen Thompson is the favorite to win this award, and that's who I would pick if there was a gun to my head. Yeah, I don't even like saying that. If there were a gun to my head, well, I don't even want to put into the universe that there's a gun in my head, okay? Amen Thompson makes sense, especially with Fred VanVleet going down now. They need somebody who's going to sort of take some of that ball handling duty. Amen Thompson fits that, and if he continues to progress as a player, especially if he progresses at all offensively, combined with his all first team defense level defensive acumen, then yeah, I think that this is definitely an opportunity for Amen Thompson to win most improved. He was the 4th overall pick a couple of years ago, and he was an all defensive player last year. It just spits in the face of the award a little bit to me, but you guys will see how I really feel about this here in a second. A guy like Terrence Shannon Jr., who's my slightly insane pick. Last year, my slightly insane pick was Denny Avdia. Yeah, I would give myself a pat on the back for that one too. I don't know where he finished, but he did have a breakout season. Terrence Shannon Jr. to me kind of embodies this. Second year guys usually don't win it. But a second year guy who was not in the rotation for much of the season at all last year, kind of got thrown in late, was getting just some spot minutes here and there in the playoffs. But somebody who, now with Nickeil Alexander-Walker gone, with Mike Conley getting older and older, and the lineup ramifications of Mike Conley maybe, getting way less minutes. I do think Terrence Shannon Jr., who is a talented player, who did look good in his limited minutes last year, there's an opportunity for Terrence Shannon Jr. to solidify himself as a rock-solid rotation player on a team that's trying to compete for an NBA championship. To me, that kind of fits more of the mold of this. The only thing is I don't think he'll be like a super high stat guy. There was I don't remember, it was a couple years ago, I thought Kobe White should have won it, because to me, he went from being a fringe kind of, not fringe rotation guy, but just like an okay guard, like an okay rotation guard, to being like, oh my God, this guy's like a top 60 player in the league, right? I don't know if Terrence Shannon Jr. has that in his bag necessarily, but I'm watching him, and I'm very interested to see what we get from Terrence Shannon Jr. this upcoming season. My pick is Wemby. That's my pick. Reason being, this award's stupid as fuck. He was the first overall pick. And I'm just trying to get into the head of the voters, right? I'm in the head of the voters. We love Victor Wembanyama. We love him. We love the Spurs. We adore them. How can we reward them as much as possible? Victor Wembanyama, most improved, deal. And I could actually see an argument if it's like Wemby went from being, anyone who says Wemby's a top 5 player in the league is doing that projections based, right? Last year, what was he? Probably like, around top 10 or so, the most impactful defender in the league, and, a mixed bag offensively. If he does take another step forward offensively, if he does take a leap forward offensively, and if he stays healthy, then I get the argument being like, Wemby went from being like around a top 10 guy to being a locked in top 5 guy who's knocking on the door of being in that top 4, the current group with the top 4 with Jokic, Shea, Luka, and Giannis. I do get the argument for that being deserving of a most improved nod. So that's honestly what I think will happen, truth be told. So that's what I'm predicting here. 6th man of the year. Again, this award's always kind of a little fucky. This one was really hard this year because it's hard for me to like, I was looking through the list. Naz Reid is the favorite to win this at plus 950. Obviously, he won it a couple years ago. I think he was 5th last year. It was difficult for me like going down the odds for the players because, man, I just kept coming across guys where I'm like, well, I think that guy might start. Or like, oh, the guy in front of that guy is like super injury prone and will probably start at some point. Like I saw Santi Aldama and I was thinking to myself, like, Santi Aldama is actually a pretty solid bet. But then I was like, is Santi Aldama going to play a lot of games because the Grizzlies are inevitably dead because of injuries? That's kind of where I found myself. PJ Washington was somebody where I was like, if PJ Washington's coming off the bench, this is not a half bad, shout here. But I just feel like he's going to end up starting a lot of games. So that's kind of where I was at. My safe pick would be Naz Reid. My insane pick would be Caruso, because Caruso will come off the bench. He's 24th in odds. There was some Caruso 6 Man of the Year love a season ago, and typically we see this a little bit, that these guys get some boosts after winning championships, right? The voters are a little bit more likely to reward you the following season if you are coming off of a championship. We have seen this. So I do think it's possible Caruso does this, right? He's not a guy, your prototypical 6 Man who comes off the bench is going to be a microwave scorer. That's not him at all. But comes off the bench and is immediately one of the most disruptive players in the NBA. Coming off the bench, I could see, especially if this is maybe a weaker 6 Man of the Year class, or some of these strong candidates end up in the starting rotation and playing too many minutes as a starter. I could see a world where Caruso is somebody who could win this award. I will go Naz Reid though, just your prototypical 6 Man. Well, not because it's typically a guard, but prototypical in the sense of an offensive minded player who can come in, score and burst, can be a team's leading scorer over the night, will probably lead the league or be right around the top of the league in bench points. He's efficient, can defend a little bit as well. Yeah, closes games at times. I think Naz Reid to me is your typical 6 Man, and I think he'll win it this year. I just think he seems like by far the strongest candidate. Defensive Player of the Year. Well, let's just get right through this. Wemby is the overwhelming favorite to win this award. Minus 185 before the season starts is crazy. I was asking this in chat. If someone came from the future and told you Victor Wembanyama plays 65 games, what do you think the odds would be for this? If all we knew was Wemby plays 65 games and qualifies, minus 500? I mean, how big would they get? Seriously. This is just a little inside joke if you guys aren't aware. My slightly insane pick is Bam Adebayo, who was 14th in odds. I was going back and looking at all my previous award predictions, and it was always Bam Adebayo at the very tippity top of these Defensive Player of the Year predictions. I always thought Bamonte was going to get one, and unfortunately, it appears that will almost certainly never be the case. But outside the top 10, though, fuck, I'll throw him a bone. Wemby's the pick. There's really not. I'm just really curious what would have to happen for Wemby to play 65 games and not win this award. I truthfully have no idea. I can't even imagine a world where that happens. And what is this award again? What's this one? Rookie of the Year. So Cooper Flagg is a big-time favorite for this. And these odds have actually improved for Flagg. Improved as in gotten bigger. Because I believe it was minus 1 something recently. Now it's minus 220. Big-time favorite to win this award. Obviously not a surprise. He was the first overall pick and a very highly touted prospect. So nothing surprising here. My insane pick in Rookie of the Year is hard because obviously you have your top end guys have pretty good odds. And then once you get past the top 10, you're talking late lottery, you're talking second round flyers. You're trying to find the Jalen Wells of the world. Ryan Kalkbrenner to me is somebody who looked pretty good from what I saw in preseason. I think will start for them. I don't think the Hornets will be good or anything like that, but he'll be starting. He'll block shots. He'll probably have pretty good rim protection stats. He'll get rebounds. And, being a center who can set screens and play alongside LaMelo Ball, there'll be opportunities for you. I think he's somebody who I don't think he'll win Rookie of the Year. This is the insane pick, but somebody who could surprise you on an all rookie team at the end of the season, I think is absolutely on the table. My pick is obviously Cooper Flagg because who else would it be? Are you being serious? Who else would it be? I'd say his biggest competition, and I've been saying this, is probably Trey Johnson or somebody like that. A guard who has microwave scoring potential on a team that will give him that opportunity, because the big scoring numbers and stuff like that. I also think somebody this rookie class is incredible. Will Dylan Harper play enough minutes? If he ends up playing enough minutes, then yeah, I could definitely see a world where Dylan Harper is seriously in contention. Con Knipple, maybe. Ace Bailey looked great in preseason. Will he have enough opportunities on that team? It's definitely possible. So it's a great rookie class. I can't wait to watch him. Cooper Flagg's the guy. And most valuable player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, coming off of winning the award, is the favorite. My safe pick would be Jokic. We know the voters absolutely adore Jokic. I mean, why wouldn't you adore Jokic? We know that this Nuggets team looks good, looks great, looks like they are primed to finish at worst like third in the Western Conference and win mid-50s and be mid-50s in wins, and that's probably enough for you to win this award. And we know Jokic is just capable of putting together crazy stats. Now, one thing, and this is going to sound a little stupid, but bear with me here. One thing that I think actually could be working against Jokic here is the fact that they have improved their roster so much and improved their depth. Because one of the bigger arguments for Jokic forever has been like his insane on-off swings. Well, if those aren't as insane anymore, the kitchen sink numbers might not be the best. Something to think about. My insane pick is Evan Mobley. I could not find anyone I loved in the insane picks. It was either players that I did not think were like legitimate MVP level players, and let me explain my Mobley pick here more in a second. Or players on teams that I just did not think would be good, or players who I think there's no chance in hell they play 65 games. I thought about putting Anthony Davis here. My track record with this is fucking dreadful, and I'll explain why here in a second more. So I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put bad juju in the air. But Mobley, to me, obviously coming off of being second team All-NBA a season ago, getting MVP votes a season ago, winning Defensive Player of the Year a season ago, if he does take an offensive leap forward and the Cavs are 60-plus wins again, and his defense stays around Defensive Player of the Year level, and there are some injuries, like, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't pick it, obviously, but, you know, it's like the most, it's the case I could see the most out of guys outside the top 10. My pick is Shea again. So if you're wondering, where's Luka Doncic? I have picked him to win this award like 4 consecutive years. And you know what? He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that from me. And I'd like to apologize formally to him. I'm not putting that into the air this year. Okay, we're going to avoid that. Also, and more importantly, I don't think the Lakers are going to win enough games, man. I don't think it, right? Whereas with the Thunder, yeah, Shea won it a year ago. Is Shea like so good that I could see him winning 2 in a row? Because I don't think voters typically, they might say they don't care, but I don't think they like doing that. I don't think they like voting for guys in back-to-back years. But a guy who's probably going to score 30 points per game on a team that I think could win 70 games, you know, hard to pick against that. Really it is. And look at the on-off stuff. The on-off swings, I know his team is stacked. And, you know, last year he won it. Chet missed a huge chunk of times. Look at the on-offs. Isaiah Hartenstein missed a huge chunk of times. Look at the on-off swings with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They are comparable to the insane Jokic swings. It's insane. So that's it. My All-NBA teams this year, I look back at my All-NBA teams in years past. Wow, they're fucking bad. I had Zach LaVine on here a few years ago. What was I thinking? First team, I got Shai, Giannis, Wemby, Luka, and Jokic. I mean, to me, that feels pretty clear-cut. If all of those guys play 65 games, I'd be pretty surprised if that's not your first team All-NBA. Obviously, Anthony Edwards will have a chance. I have him making second team. AD, I have making second team. And you're probably looking at this and wondering, wait a second, where is Steph? Where's KD? I decided I'm not going to put, where's LeBron? I decided I'm not going to put Grandpaps on here that I don't think will win 65, or I don't think will play in 65 plus games. So the Grandpaps are gone, even though they probably will make it. And now you hear that and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why is Anthony Davis here? Because he plays on the Mavericks, okay? All right, and that's that. I got nothing else for you, period. Okay. Evan Mobley, I talked about me being high on him. You know, he's a second team All-NBA guy. Second team All-NBA guy a season ago. Brunson, Cade Cunningham, so fucking in on Cade Cunningham. Actually accidentally forgot him. I had to go back and add him during the stream. But we took off Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. The Paps are gone. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm actually really in on a cat season this year. You know, making third team All-NBA doesn't seem that crazy, but for some reason, I'm just really feeling Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns being this just super electric dynamic duo this upcoming season. I think Cat gets an All-NBA team. Donovan Mitchell, I think the Cavs will just be a really good regular season team. Donovan Mitchell is at the forefront of that. Paolo, if you think the Magic are going to be good, they'll have an All-NBA guy almost certainly. Jalen Johnson, this is me planting my flag. I think Jalen Johnson is going to have a huge year this year. He was in the process of having a huge year last year. Wasn't going to be an All-NBA guy, but could have been an All-Star. And if you think the Hawks are going to be good, like I think the Hawks are going to be good, I predicted them to finish 4th in the East. I think Jalen Johnson is somebody, and I've mentioned this, man. Jalen Johnson at the end of the year could be somebody you look at and be like, yo, is he the best player on the team? Like you'd think it's Trae Young, but he's just this prototypical modern NBA player. He does everything on the basketball court. incredibly dynamic, incredibly explosive, great, fantastic athlete at his size. A really fun player to watch. And then Şengün. I think the Rockets are going to be good. Şengün's here. So that's my. I wanted to get Cooper Flagg on here. I did. I really did. I wanted to get Cooper on here somewhere, but I just couldn't do it. If you guys like the video, leave a comment and a subscribe.